Peria Chronicles. Some know the game and some don't, known formerly as Project NT. It finally got its name October 29, 2013, and whether you follow Peria or not, Eleyon TheGamer here, let's discuss this thing. So, Peria Chronicles, developed by ThingSoft. You don't know them? Most don't, that's alright. They've worked on games such as FIFA Online and FIFA Online 2 for you football loving dudes. They were bought by Nexon, who will now be the publisher of Peria. Some groan at this, and some are pretty passive. And some are even in construction of a bridge to throw themselves off of. Whatever your status is, Nexon is the publisher, and this sits sour with some because of how Nexon is known to do business. But we're talking about Peria, and his future under Nexon will be seen and discussed at some other time. So what is Peria Chronicles? Peria Chronicles is a sandbox, cel-shaded MMO that apparently is based on the background of the three kingdoms in Chinese history. So either Dynasty Warriors has been lying to me, or the very late Emperor had a Pikachu, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with the latter. So, Peria is deep-rooted in its anime themes, with the website even stating that it is an anime in a game. The developers say that playing it will feel like watching an animation, and with the look of the game, that could very well be the case. I have to say that it does look very anime-ish. The character customization for Peria looks good so far, though probably not too extensive. You can do things like face, hairstyle, body size, being fat, skinny, and the usual, but it all looks nice all the same. Now, the battle system some say is similar to Pokemon, however that comparison only comes as you can catch and summon monsters. These monsters, pets, Pokemon are officially called the Karina. Possibly name pending, don't quote me on that. The Karina will vary in size, looks, and abilities, causing players to think on which helper they ought to use for any given situation to best come out on top. And the question, of course, being, do I have to rely on my Karina to fight? Trailers have proven otherwise, as some characters have been caught wielding a bow and swinging a sword, but these features haven't been fully discussed or clarified or confirmed, I should say. There have, however, been descriptions of Peria being a card monster hack and slash MOBA mix. And so while details on this fighting hasn't been fully spoken on, it has been showcased in trailers, as you even see in the video that you're watching currently, where sometimes you see the guy shooting the bow and the girl kind of wielding the sword going on for you. So it looks like they have a pretty nice diverse combat system going on that everybody can dabble in. And so the story of Peria isn't unheard of. Two gods, one created the humans, the other created the Karina, and not knowing that the other existed until they finally stumbled upon each other. Naturally, this isn't discussed on what really made them fight, but apparently they weren't the best of buds, and the fight was on. And being as they were gods, I'm sure the fight spanned some several years, and all in all, no winner or loser was determined, as both gods merely vanished, leaving their subjects behind. Now it's up to you, the players, and the Pokerina to either rebuild together or finish the fight that your gods left off, or perhaps both, assuming some Karina will need their ass kicked anyway in PvP, which is still unknown at this point. So no telling what happens to the trolls and douches of the world just yet, but they have stated that towns can set up quests to have newcomers killed, resulting in something that I'd probably say is similar to being PK'd, or ganked, or whatever. All in all, I'm sure they'll come up with something for the people that are PvP fanatics. Most likely it'll be an arena type thing, because they don't want the farmer or the baker of the world to get, ganked and PK'd, which I guess I'm pretty cool with. Alright, so you can fight, the story's alright, but why is everyone raving on this game? What makes Peria so awesome? It's the projected control the community has over the game. It's been said that players can go as far as making their own storyline quests, emotes, dance motions, crafted items, towns and buildings, recipes, NPCs, dungeons, defense maps, and more. Matter of fact, it would seem the only thing you so far that players don't craft in the world is the Karina themselves. Aside from that, you have a great amount of control. You can create a huge glowing board that allows players to play Tetris, make a dungeon that you and your friends can explore and fight through, make a building, and then create an NPC for that building. That's a store clerk. And now that you've created a store for other players in which the gold goes right to you, you can even band together with some friends and create crazy storyline quests, and the devs will patch these into the game. Now, I'm not sure how they decide or deem a quest or quest line is good enough to become quote unquote official, but they have stated that they'll patch it into the game. Now, it's been stated also that the game does have its own main story quests. As antagonists have also been shown in the trailers and whatnot. I'm sure this will also have some dev team created towns and side quests in the game, but for the most part, the most amazing thing about Peria is that it's almost pretty much run by the community. It almost eliminates the whole, oh, we don't have anything to do. If the community is imaginative and creative, it seems like this world will thrive endlessly, and that's what makes Peria Chronicles amazing and a top listed game for a lot of people. Of course, we all start thinking about trolls. People dismantling your hard worked village, brainwashing your NPC, selling hentai like pickies of your sexy anime character to other people. Well, these things apparently have been thought about, hentai pics included. Trolls will need several votes of the residents of a said town to demolish or take apart anything. So unless you have a wave of 300 trolls passing through, you're most likely in the clear. Again, like I said, you can either this can take effect to have like a troll-like village now, where you walk through and they've made quests and stuff to kill or, I don't know, steal loot from any person that's come through their town. But for the most part, it seems like it's a pretty controlled environment. Even in the creation of towns themselves that aren't troll village, you would need several people to create a huge town, as it's been stated for us here. But for the most part, it seems like they have the have it in control to stop people from trolling you in the game, taking apart your stuff, and whatnot like that for you. Now, that's not to say, what if you're a hermit or something up in the mountain village, and you got a little house by yourself with a little picket fence? I don't know on that one. That's something that would have to be determined. Obviously, some people have already considered this in the game of not living in a huge village. I'm going to live on the outskirts of town. Screw everybody. You know what I mean? So I guess that kind of thing will be discussed later on, or maybe somebody will pose it as a question. What happens to the people that aren't part of big towns? Maybe they only have 2 or 3 houses. Can somebody come and simply dismantle that? But these things are things to be seen for us here. So you can comment on that below for you. So in getting my personal thoughts on Peria, I feel like it's a no game, no life, log horizon SAO type of game that has that feel that we can truly play. And by that I mean you're shaping the world, or at least that's what's been advertised. That in itself is utterly cool. And in promoting that, if the community has a large amount of imagination and creativity, like I was saying earlier, this game has limitless potential. You have characters making quests that you can constantly get into. That's not going to eventually dry up. You have shops and things that you're running and taking care of. The worlds that you're building, dungeons that you're creating. I can already imagine holiday events that characters will, other players will be creating for Christmas and such like that, and all that cool stuff that just people can just craft and create. And I mean, you think about that, where if players can create their own emotes and their own dance motions, just those little tidbit things are so amazing, and that's what makes this game seem just absolutely limitless to me in terms of what it has to offer for a true MMO that it literally extends the span of time for you. Most MMOs get old. You don't have anything to do. There's no more quests. You don't care. And in this game, I didn't really state this earlier, but there is no classes in this game. So you're not an archer. You're not a locked up in a healer. You're gonna get your Karina, and apparently you're gonna get some type of form of fashion to fight for yourself, because there are some clips in this video where there are no Karina present whatsoever, but the character is still fighting. So that's definitely good for people that don't wholeheartedly want to rely on the Karina. Now, I don't know how physically good you are going to be by yourself, but that's thinking outside the box for the players. And there are still things that we don't know yet about this game. It remains to be seen if the hack and slash fighting truly is a part of it and how it works. How one earns new clothes. I'm pretty sure they'll be craftable, but how do you craft them? Or are they something that you buy? Do you make them? Or is a player going to be able to do some type of profession system? Do people get professions where they're better at building, or they're better at farming, or they're better at fighting? And if that's the case, how do you get these craft items? Do the Karina drop them? Do you farm them and punch trees like Minecraft? Do you do that? Have to do these kinds of things. If there are weapons, how do you get them? And how do you make them? Um, and most importantly, there hasn't been any mention of a traveling system. How do you get between town and town? So these are things to look forward to that they'll hopefully mention later on as the game's development comes to fruition. All in all, Pereira is sounding pretty good, and from the vids we've seen, it looks pretty good as well. I know I'm definitely intrigued. I know a lot of people like the character customization, and it shows it very briefly in the videos here, but it does look pretty good. Um, Albeit not the most extensive character customization that we've seen so far, but as Black Desert has shown, this has potential to grow in itself. Um, Hopefully, the one thing is that Peria Chronicles has one of the greater futures, so hopefully it doesn't feel itself too much on hype. As of lately, we've seen that as a red flag for a letdown of a game. But I don't think that would be the case with Pereira, especially if it does indeed let the community influence it as much as we think and are being told that it will. All in all, guys, that's going to round up the discussion for me on Pereira. There might have been some things I forgot to talk about in here, but that's why you can comment down below, and I'll be glad to go ahead and partake in those comments with you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Eleyon, TheGamer. You guys take it easy.